I hope I get more than 2 minutes because I actually have two stories. This is a family story that has touched our family, and we're just calling it a blessing from God. 2 days before Thanksgiving of this year, my niece, who turned 49 in February, she woke up and her family said she was walking around. Everything seemed good, but she was speaking a language that they had no idea what her language was. She was having a massive stroke. It was not diagnosed until she got to the hospital, and I live in Danville, Virginia. They sent her from Danville, Virginia to here, to UVA. Thanksgiving Day, they pulled every tooth in her head because they said there was an infection in an abscessed tooth that she failed to take care of, and this infection went to her brain. And they say that an infection of that sort, I've never heard of that, but I've heard in many cases since then, it either goes up to the brain or goes down to the heart. Doctors, she was in a coma at this point, on breathing machines and everything. And doctors, we stayed at UVA for 10 days with my sister, and the doctors every couple of days said we need a family meeting, and we have more and more family meetings saying you need to come to terms that your daughter's not going to live. If she were to live, she will be a vegetable. My sister's name, Ms. Lumpkin, he said, Ms. Lumpkin, we really want you to understand this. She has had massive, massive strokes. Her brain will never heal. She will never come back to you. If she were to wake up, we're going to take her off the respirator, and they did, and she was able to breathe on her own. If we take her off of this, she will not be able to see. She will be blind. She won't be able to hear. She will never eat. She will never swallow. She will never walk. She will be a breathing vegetable. Is that what you want? So for a month, they took her off the respirator, and this is a week before Christmas, and I've got a cousin that lives in Maryland that owns a Massage Envy, and she wanted to treat my sister to a massage because she had been here for a month looking after her daughter. So she went, made a phone call to get an appointment, and the appointment actually ended up being at 9 o'clock in the evening. And the young lady, our blessing, is in this room, and she was telling my sister about this product, and she said, I have a friend that you need to meet. I want to tell you a little bit about my story and what this did for me. So at some point, Dorothy met my sister in the parking lot someplace, gave her the gel and the Asea, and kind of said, you need to get this in her somehow. She was on a feeding tube. So with the ICU cameras everywhere, my sister would do the gel on her neck, on her forehead, bottom of her feet, any place to get into the acupuncture points to get this into her system. And she would pour the Asea down her feeding tube. In 2 days, she had not opened her eyes, she had not awakened or anything. Her eyes opened very slowly, and my sister was moving around the room, not realizing that she was awake and looking at her. And her sister was there, and she noticed, she said, Mama, she's watching you. She's moving from this side to this side. That told us she could see. Make a long story short, she is in a nursing home in Danville. We finally got her back there 2 weeks ago. She has a long road to recovery. She can see us. She knows us. She talks. She swallows. They're getting her into physical therapy. And we absolutely call this a miracle. So fast forward to my story. I was hospitalized January the 2nd. I had my grandchildren. I was so excited. I had a whole week with them. And I got up that morning, and I did not feel right. My heart didn't feel right. And so we called the EMS, and they said, well, Ms. Ashworth, you are in what we call AFib. We need to send you to the hospital to get this checked out. So in the hospital, the first doctor comes in and said, well, Ms. Ashworth, did you know that your blood sugar was over 300? I was like, no, I did not know that. Well, did you also know that your thyroid isn't even registering on the scale? Your TSH is like a 0.2. I was like, no, I did not know that. So anyway, it was an overnight stay, a $40,000 bill for this overnight stay, and they sent me home to start working on me. put me on insulin. So you see me wearing my glucose thing to check my blood sugar during the day. And this is a work in progress. And Dorothy, and I forget how we connected on Facebook, but she was precious. We connected on Facebook, and she heard my story, and she's like, you really need to. So if you're looking at this and you're kind of like, I don't want to look at that, I'll tell you reasons why. She started tagging me things in this group, to things that I was experiencing, and I was like, this is so annoying. I gotta go in every day and untag. I was like, why does she keep tagging me in this stuff? So anyway, I would untag and she would tag. I would glance at it and I was like, and she would say, you really need to look at this. And not to say, oh, poor pitiful me. I am widowed, have been for 7 years. I make a meager $350 a week. I had a $40,000 hospital bill looking at me that I have no idea if the insurance is going to pay or not. So I'm like, I can't look at anything else. I have no income for that. It's just me. It's just me. So I was in my sister's store a month later. She was the one who ordered the products for my niece Penny. And on her desk sat a bottle of the liquid and the gel. And she looks at it. She says, I know this was a miracle for Penny. I'm not sure what it did. She picked it up and she said, salt water. How did salt water help her? Here, you take it. And I was always her guinea pig. She has a natural health store in Danville, has for 20 years, and I was always her guinea pig to try stuff. She says, you take this home, you see what this does, and then maybe we'll have a story for us. But we know it did something for Penny. So I took it home, and it sat on my kitchen table with all my diabetic supplies for 30 days. I would look at that blue bottle every day and be like, it looks interesting. So one day, one of my associates in my office, he came in. He was sick, I mean snotting, coughing, sneezing, and I was like, you need to go home. I do not want what you have. And he would laugh, and I was like, this stuff is very contagious. You know, it's going around. And so he finally went home, and a couple of days later, I also came down with it. But luckily, I went home that Friday, looked at that blue bottle again, and I thought, you know, I've got to trust what this did for my niece, and I've got to research this, but I'm not going to start with this one bottle my sister gave me. I got online, I became an associate, I ordered several cases, some of the gel, and I thought, if I'm really going to do this, I really got to make this be a serious effort. So I did, and my associate had to end up in the doctor's office with all kinds of medications to get him through. He had sinus and all this stuff. 2 days, mine was gone. 2 days, because I did get really sick. So in the process, and I had the gel, I hadn't started yet. So after a couple of weeks, I thought, okay, they say to put this gel on your face. They say to take pictures. I'm sitting in the bathroom, and I thought, okay, what the hell? I'm going to take pictures of my face. I don't know what this is going to do. Still. Anyway, so I put it on my face. I got before and after pictures here that you'll have to see, and I'll let you pass this around. In 5 weeks, this is what it did to the lines around my face. Lines in my neck is gone, my double chin is gone. And it's like, okay, this stuff is doing amazing things. So the first thing I noticed, and I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease over 10 years ago. And Lyme's disease kind of hangs around with you, and it has its flare-ups from time to time. The first thing I noticed within a week is I felt like somebody lifted a lid off of my head. I was able to think, I was able to concentrate, I was able to remember, and I was like, okay, I'm paying attention. I was able to sleep better. Within 2 weeks, I was sleeping all night, and since my husband had died, I hadn't done that in 7 years. That was the second thing. I guess one of the most dramatic things is I fell down my attic stairs in 2010, broke my left ankle in 3 places, and had to have surgery. So I got plates and screws and stuff in there. And my feet look the same, but since 2010, I've not been able to feel my left foot or any of my toes because nerve endings were cut. And so I would rub the gel into that all over my foot. And today I feel my feet, I feel my toes, every bit of those nerve endings has been healed back together. And if you're looking for a miracle product, I mean, they say to make a list of the people that you know that really need this. And I started with a list of over 200 people. People with the C word, people with the A word, anything from A to Z. I am so passionate about this product. And another thing with my sister to do this, Because we had been into natural health for 20 years, we have tried, I can't even tell you the companies, from the juices to the pills to the magnets to the whatever, and we tried every one. So I've been in MLM for over 25 years. The longest company I was with was 15 years, and I've never seen a product like this. I've never seen a company like this. I am so passionate about sharing this with others.